Okay, hey everybody, welcome. So, just want to say welcome to my channel. Um, this is basically mostly going to focus on SNR, mixed in with lower time frame models such as LIT and RCV. What we're going to try and do in this specific series is break down the essentials of SNR trading and kind of guide you step by step to make sure we all take smarter trades. Now, what we're going to try and do is we're going to start off a series with a lot of SNR content, all the different setups, all the different models we have, and kind of take things from there. So let's get to it. Now today the first thing I want to go through, I'm sure most of you already know SNR, so I'll come back to the setups and things in a later date, but today I just want to tap into what actually we should do when price comes into an SNR zone. Now we've all seen it, a lot of mentors suggest that you wait on the same time frame for the close. So let's say you're on a daily time frame, so let's start marking up, I guess. So just give me, there we go. Let's say on a daily time frame we have I don't know, let's say we have a zone over here. There's a big candle over here and price is coming. Now most people will tell you to kind of wait for rejection over here first, and wait for the rejection to close on that time frame before looking for entries. So let's say this was the daily time frame. It would mean that we would have to wait for the daily candle to kind of reject, and that could mean that price ends up being somewhere here by the time it closes, which means we would have kind of missed quite a bit of opportunity over here. Now, from what I've seen, we don't always need to wait for this to close. We can just go to a lower time frame and identify a breakout to get a better position. So, what do I mean by all of that? Let's assume we have a daily level over here. So I'm just going to mark it in green so we know it's support. Let's say we have a daily level over here, and we have a nice, let's say we have a candle just over here like this. Don't worry about the color of the candle, of course. Now ideally price is coming back, and price kind of just creates this and then closes somewhere over here. Now it's a rejection, of course, but how do we get an early entry? Now the thing we want to do over here is we want to drop down to a lower time frame. So let's say this is the H1. We want to drop down into at least the M15 to try and get a lower time frame entry. So if we drop down to the M15, what does it look like? Well, in M15 we're going to have price kind of coming down like this, and then we're going to have a breakout over here. Now once we have this breakout over here on the M15, so a break off structure like this, there's loads of different setups that you can look into from an SNR perspective to kind of enter. Now if I was to go into those setups, one of them could simply just be, for example, the QM setup. So price comes kind of back over to this zone, QM, and then kind of goes like this. So that's a QM setup. That's one. Let's say we wanted to get a different setup. So price is coming down, coming down, coming down. Now price goes over here, slight reaction, and then breaks through. Now I want to ask to imagine that there is a engulfing over here, and this over here had a reaction, but then there was a bullish EG back over here. So now instead of waiting for price to come back to a QM zone, we can expect price to just come back to this EG engulfing candle and then kind of shoot from there. So that's one type of setup that we can have. Another setup that we could have essentially is within the zone itself. So we have, for example, price coming down again, lower time frame, and then we have a breakout, and within the breakout we then have price kind of keeps going, doesn't necessarily have to come back to anywhere. Price kind of keeps going, and then there's one candle that kind of moves back down, and then price goes back up again. Now essentially this could be seen as a rally, base, rally, and then we can expect price to kind of come back to this zone and then go again to the base. Basically, that's another setup that can happen. Now another setup that I really like as well, that I've seen happen a lot more, is price can, so let me just delete this one as well. So price is coming down, price is coming down. Now price actually breaks through, but then price actually makes a deeper retracement over inside, lower than the QM basically, and then it kind of goes. So essentially on a lower time frame, on an even lower time frame, so maybe now on the M5 time frame, what you're going to see here is this is more like a drop, base, and then rally. So this whole zone then becomes your entry point, your POI. So then you expect price to kind of come back into here and then go again. So this is kind of refining even further to try and get an even smaller stop loss. So that's another kind of setup. But essentially, point being is that when price does come into a higher time frame SNR level, we can always drop down to a lower time frame, wait for the breakout to happen, and then take the trade instead of waiting for it to actually first close on this zone over here. This part is expecting it to close over here and then trying to get an entry, because sometimes price can just so if I was to annotate that, sometimes price can literally just start from here and then go again, and it will never come back to here, for example, etc., and you would have missed the trade, and you know the day may be over by the time it kind of comes back. So therefore, by refining to a lower time frame, it kind of makes sure that you get lower or better entry and that you're in the market. So that is it for today. Thank you very much. Hope you found it useful. If you did, please do subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.